Well, hello students. We finally got to the point in which we have two problems that we want to solve. I'm going to explain to you what I want you to do. So to see if you're able to code by yourself, and at the end of the module I will provide the solutions step by step using idle and my text editor Atom. So I want you to do two problems. You can write this or go through the slides and then try to code in Atom. Example 1, we have $100 that you can invest with a 10% return each year. After 1 year, you can see that I already done the calculation for you. It's $100 times 1.1. You get return back of $110. On the second year, of course, you're going to multiply your $100 investment and then time 1.1 and time 0.1. That will give you $121. Your job will be to code the following problem and calculate how much money you will end up after 8 years, and then print the solution. Make sure that after you do this in your text editor, whatever your choice, either Notepad or Atom, that you save your file as savingproblem.py so you're able to find it. Then what you're going to do after solving it will be to open it in the interpreter and run the program to see if the program works out. I will go step by step at the end of the chapter. Now, example 2, we have the BMI formula. Your job is to choose either the USA BMI formula or the metric BMI formula. Whatever you choose is fine, but just make sure that you're consistent. In here, in this slide, I have chosen the metric BMI just because I think it's easier. That way you don't have to multiply for 703. However, your job will be to code this into Python, calculate the BMI by giving variables height and weight, and then try to calculate the formula that you could use with any person's height and weight. Make sure that you print your result and that you save it as bmi2.py. After doing it on your text editor such as Atom, you want to make sure that you open it in the interpreter and run it. If you're able to print the results, that means that is probably working. However, I will be going through both problems step by step at the end of the module. What I wanted to talk to you about now is about the Python types or type function. There are different data types in Python, and we already have talked about some of them. We got floats, which are numbers such as 3.2, 5.6, or minus 1.3. Those numbers are called floats because they contain a decimal point. The word in Python for that is float. Integers, however, are whole numbers. They don't have any decimal places. Numbers like 1 or 20, as you can see, they don't have any 1 decimal after. You could say 20.0, that will be a float, whether 20 will be an integer. We already talked about strings. Text in Python is a string. What we haven't talked about is about Boolean values, which are either true or false values. You can put the type function on a value. This is called typecasting, and try to find out what kind of value function do you have. Let's get some exercises to get familiar with all these data types. So I'm going to open idle for you to see that we can try to find out with the function type what kind of integers or numbers are these. Give me just 1 second. As always, I'm going to try to go through Windows, although you can also go through the command prompt or type idle on the search box. Maybe you already have it right here on the bar selected. So I'm opening the window with idle. I'm going to put it here so we know what numbers are we going to work on. So if I write the type function, make sure that you use lowercase letters. As you can see, type turns purple because it's a function. If we put 10 inside the box and then we press enter, you can see that Python is going to give us that 10 is an integer. int stands for integer. How about if we try type with 10.0? Well, that's a float. And how about 21.1? That's a float. Now how about if we decided to do something like that? We're going to put in between quotes and we put 21.1. What do you think Python will do? Try yourself. Well, look at that. It's telling us that it's a string. That is strange. As far as you know, right now, you already should know the Python, anything in quotes will take as a string. So we have to be careful when we're adding, subtracting, or multiplying. As you will see, remember for the last lessons, when we did examples on strings and numbers, that sometimes you cannot add the string to a number unless you transform that number to a string or that string to a number. That is called typecasting. There are other functions that we're going to study, such as, for example, the function round. Let's get 21.1 and press round. As you can see, the function round will round a number to the closest decimal value. How about, let's see what we have. How about what numbers with decimal places, like 314? I put some exercises in here so you can go and try those out in idle. So which one of the following are floats? That's an integer. You see the difference? Normally integers are whole numbers and don't have any decimal points. Whether strings are just text, although you can also turn a number into a string and a string into a number. So you have to be careful. You can use the type function to get the data type of a variable, and as you can see, that gave us an integer. So what is the output of this code? Let's say that x equals 5. Let's print type of x. You're assigning x to a number or a value, and then you're printing and typing. So let's see what it does. Try that on idle yourself. What about non-numbers like your name? In Python, letters or words like I or Ireland are called strings. Which of the following are not strings? Try the following. Let's go to idle again and try that. Remember that we assigned x equals 5, and then what we wanted to do was to find which type x was and then print the result. Let's see what the idle does. Well, it's telling us, of course, that it is a class integer. Very well. Now let's try some of the strings. You can denote a string using single or double quotes if you remember. So let's try to print the following. Using the function print and type, try to put the number 5 this time in quotations. Remember the parentheses. As you can see, we have parentheses for the function print, and also remember the function type is inside of the function print, so you need 4 parentheses. If not, Python will give you an error. As you can see, even though 5 is a value in a number, when we typecast it, it gives us that it's a string because it is in quotations. Let's go back to our presentation. You often need to know if things are true or false. Now that we already have gone through strings and values, and then typecasting, in which we were able to see which were strings and which ones were numbers, now sometimes we need to know if, for example, is a person vegetarian or not. We need to know if something is true or false. These are called Boolean values. Which of the following are Boolean values? I'll let you think about it and I'll come back in a couple seconds. To tell you the truth, it's kind of difficult to know which ones are actually right, which ones are not, right? I mean, a person age can be over 18 or cannot be over 18. So that one right away, you know, it can get a Boolean value. How about if a person is single or not? Can that be quantified? Maybe not. How about a person's name? Probably not. How about a person's age? That might be another solution. If you have answered A and D, then you are correct. Now in Python, true and false represent truthness and falseness, or 0 and 1. The capitalization is really important. Which of the following options is correct? True values are represented by true, false values are represented by false, false values are represented by false. Make sure that you put attention on the capitalization here. True values are represented by true. But remember that the word true and the word false always have to be capitalized in order for Python to recognize a true Boolean value or false Boolean value. Now that you know the basic data types, integers, floats, booleans, and strings, select the code below to return the output type bool. Let's do it in Python.